Hello.
Hello, Stephen.
Yes, good morning, Stephen. This is Inad from Oopgo. How are you today?
Good. I'm doing well. How are you today?
Great, great. Thank you, thank you. Stephen, are you physically located in Utah?
I am.
Okay. How's the weather today?
A little rainy and maybe some snow later, but we can use it at this point.
All right, of course, of course. Okay, great.
I'm
Stephen,
sorry, I didn't catch your name up front.
Inad, I-N-A-D.
Okay. Very nice to meet you, Nad.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you. I do not see your name. Did you download the Citrix and go to meeting? Can you see my
Yeah,
screen? Can you see my screen now?
I sure can. You're on, and it's a picture of a delivery man and now two women.
Okay, good, good, good. Okay,
Yep.
good, good. So we are sharing the screen just to make sure that we are on the same page here. Okay, Stephen, before we start, how long do we have here? Are you open?
Today I've got a half hour.
Half hour. Okay, good enough, good enough. We will get down to business and try to have some form of dialogue maybe for the next 15 minutes and be able to answer all the questions you might come up with that will
Okay.
be pertinent to our conversation here. Now, tell
Okay.
me a little bit about the business, about the farms, and how. Of course, we looked it up, we did some research, etc. But what made you decide to join this call, basically, and learn more about our product?
So, our business, we've got about 40,000 customers that we deliver to their homes every week, different products. But what's different about our business, Enad, is that our concept is not that you come online and just shop and get a one-time delivery. Our concept is that you have a standing order. So you say, I know I drink 2.5 gallons of milk and a thing of wheat bread and a thing of eggs every week. So I'll create a standing order, and that will get delivered every week unless you tell us not to.
Oh, okay.
And again, we want you to come online and order more and be more engaged. But that's where we differentiate from like the grocery store chains.
Correct.
And one of the challenges with that is that from a regular analytics point of view, regular analytics really struggles with that model because I can come online, my delivery's on a Friday. I can come online on Monday and add a couple new things to my order, and let's say my standing order is $10.
Okay.
And I add a couple new things on Monday, and now it's $15.
Okay.
And on Tuesday, I add a couple more things, and now it's $18. Well, a normal analytics package will say I've ordered 2 times, and my average is, 15 plus 18 divided by 2.
Okay.
Well, it's not really. It's really the last time that I ordered,
Okay.
not the average of every time I come on for a week.
Okay.
And what we found is that standard analytics packages really struggle with that. And the reason I decided to join this call today was, I'm not sure how somebody got my email, but somebody did, and we had looked at a product called Tea Leaf.
Right.
And, you know, we were very impressed with Tea Leaf. And this looked very similar to Tea Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to know, is this the same? Is it different? What's the differentiators? What does it do for you? So that's why I joined the call today.
Okay, great. This summarizes it very easily and makes our conversation much more relevant and just focused and right to the point. And when you mentioned the standard analytics, I understand, I'm sure you use Google Analytics, but you might be using Omniture.
Yes, we do.
Okay, okay. And, you know, Omniture, of course, is a good, solid analytics product, and Tea Leaf is a good product for to give you some insight into the customer experience. And I understand exactly where you are coming from, and this is where I'm going to start basically to address, because our company, let me start in a non-traditional way and give you a very tiny, maybe 1 minute here, presentation, 4 pages only. We summarize ourselves as a web intelligence, basically, for your business, digital marketing intelligence. And what that means to us is, if you look at this triangle here, I would like to summarize Oopgo by showing you that we do have 3 main products that are joining together and working, continuously working, feeding each other. The strongest analytics, and I'm going to differentiate ourselves from the products that you are using now, in addition to customer interaction recording. And here, part of it, this is where Tea Leaf, for example, provides a part of what we do, or similar, but we do have, I'll differentiate ourselves from Tea Leaf. And also we add a third component that neither of those 2 products provide currently, which is a very strong, the strongest digital competitive intelligence. So if you look at the 3 of them, if you added Omniture, you multiplied its capabilities tenfold, brought Tea Leaf, you added to its capabilities probably 2 to 3 folds, and getting in addition some digital competitive intelligence. And I will talk very briefly about each one of them and how they work together. Basically, this constitutes our product. So basically, complete data capture, this is differentiation, and I'll go over it very briefly, just in a few seconds here. Exclusive access to the entire web globally. I'll illustrate that. Again, the 3 of them together make what Oopgo really offers. And how we measure up, it's so relevant that this is why I wanted to show you these 4 pages here. When we compare ourselves to Omniture, to Tea Leaf, and Google, we do have the most flexible data source. Google has that, Omniture has it also. Session replay, Tea Leaf only has it and us, but I'll differentiate Oopgo from what Tea Leaf. Have you already gone through a presentation of Tea Leaf? I mean, do you understand the study? Well, good, great. Yes. This will help a great deal. Behavioral analysis, heat maps, Omniture could provide you that, Tea Leaf could provide you that, but this is it. Live session replay. I know Tea Leaf provides recording and allows you to go back, later and review if you wanted, specific records, because they are tagged and they are being recorded, and you can review the experience and put yourself in the customer's shoes to decide, what made them make that decision to buy, not to buy, to order, not to order, to go with that, or to fill up their card and not to pursue it, or to pursue it, to go through it. But the differentiation here is that we have the ability, and we are the first product on the market in the world to be able to give it to you live. Live means real time. We're not only recording. What we are doing is looking at the data, gathering 1,000 more data of any interaction at any time with any customers anywhere in the world, basically, but of course in your market area, because this is what you are interested. But we have the ability to bring it to you live. So if you wanted at any point of time to engage live with a certain customer, and you can tag the customers who are accessing your website and saying, for example, someone with a previous purchase of so much, or a regular customer, you can quantify or add from a geographic area, or or in your case, by the delivery date. For example, someone who is trying to enter an order today and their next delivery is tomorrow, and you want it to accelerate, you can tag it in such a way that you are notified immediately that that person is adding to their order to facilitate, the processing, so you don't, send their merchandise missing those items that they thought about at the last moment. So we have that ability. And, I'll answer your question. I'll address it in probably a couple minutes. We also have a built-in, fully integrated live chat, which means you could, depending on how you are organized, whether you do have a marketing team, sales team, etc., actively following and constantly, gathering the data and adding it automatically or not. But you have, if something is not clear or a customer needed, for example, to have some questions answered, etc., we have the ability, we do have a live chat module also, whereby your customer service or your salesperson can engage with your customers live, answer their questions. With the major difference, nobody else in the world has this capability that I'm going to tell you about. When they do that, they have already seen what that customer is trying to do or has tried to do. They could review all their histories over time, the previous 100 visits if you want, or the previous, the most recent 5 visits, or the most recent 1 visit. Again, normally with the chat, with the live chat mechanism that some companies do have, they do not have and never had the ability to know exactly what that customer has already entered or had already experienced. Here we give you that live, so while you are engaging in the chat, you know exactly what happens. So the conversation will go straight to answer their questions, to address their issues, to offer them basically the value, to help them find maybe products that they are struggling to find, and to process their order immediately. We also added mobile session replay. So the entire mobile platform, we are talking about cell phones, we are talking about, smartphones, of course, and we are talking about tablets, all platforms, and this is a novelty. I know most companies have been struggling to develop such a platform, and we completed basically total access to include total mobile session replay also. None of the other products have that ability now. Every micro action that the customer, your client, engages in, usually every micro action, we have the ability to access it and to record it. Let me get rid of this and go back to my screen. All right. Do you have any questions so far, Stephen?
So far, so good. I like what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Oopgo, this is, I wanted to show you, did you visit our website before we had this conversation or no?
Yeah, I just hit the home page just to kind of take a quick look, but I didn't dive into anything.
Okay. Let's dive together here then. we do have, of course, modules. We do have a section on our website. So whenever you are done with this call, please feel free to visit and to dig further at your own time, to consider and compare feature for feature with all other products you may have now and you are considering. But one of them is, of course, explore, and we will go over because this gives you a, a short demonstration about different capabilities, which I'll go to, but you also have solutions. Solutions and industries. So here, if we went to industries and clicked retail, because you are probably, you are classified, or you would classify your business as the retail. Of course, it's a unique model of retail with delivery. I know it's not the only one, but it's one, not the average that is available everywhere, but in certain markets, of course it is. So please visit it, and we're not going to read here, but what we give you the ability to fully understand the customer's behavior. We give it to you on a platter, basically, by allowing you to watch them and to see, not watch the individual, but watch their activity on your website, what they are trying to do, etc. So if your website, for example, had some areas that are not 100% or 1,000%, I'm going to say functional, whereby they're having difficulties or technicals or otherwise, or getting errors and abandoning it, without our product, all what you would be notified is that there are people who come in and abandon, and this is the number. With us, we can point you to the exact ones and let you relive the experience, basically, to discover why that happened, whether it was due to a technical error, whether it was due to a usability issue, whether it was due to the way they use basically their cursor on your website, whether you need to change configuration, etc., etc. So it gives you lots of insight that no one else currently is able to give you. We also give you the ability to dynamically interact with them, both live and on demand later on, because you can always recall certain records. And if someone is calling about an order, about errors, I don't know whether you encountered that, or to follow up payment or other things, that was not according to the customer processed adequately, you can just by very, very easily take a fraction of a second to locate their record and see what happened exactly, and understand in such a way that you can resolve it more efficiently rather than taking long time and exhausting your customer service resources, etc., etc. And lots of things that technology now can allow you, our technology can allow you to resolve very, very efficiently. Of course, the ultimate objective for us is to allow you to increase your revenues, your profits, etc., by cutting your costs and using, again, the technology in the background to further increase your usability, your functionality on the website, and promote your business at all levels. Let me give you a very short introduction here about our live, and I won't spend much time. For example, this one here tells you or gives you an idea how on your website, if you were a subscriber, basically you do have the Oopgo product installed. You can, for example, click, these are live visitors, to see exactly what they are doing on your website, how they navigate. You can look at pages that they visited in their current session, and you can go back to their history to compare. For example, for this particular one, 71 past customer sessions, and you can, from the most recent to the most distant one, and you can review that history if you wanted to, because to resolve an issue, a complaint, a dispute, etc., etc. So you have total access at all times on demand just by clicking, on it. Let me give you an idea about the mobile experience and how detailed. So nowadays, of course, people are using more and more their mobile devices to to use to navigate on the internet, to order stuff, to conduct business. So what you are seeing here, an actual play, we are able, we develop this technology to show you exactly how they are looking at your website and how they are experiencing it on their portable device. And here what you are seeing is, even whenever they had to flip their smartphone, for example, to see better in a horizontal landscape vision, rather than in the typical portrait, etc., it gives you just ideas and clues as to how you can make the experience more efficient. And, as you develop or you change your website with time. What I didn't mention also, notice the colored points here or dots, how it starts, for example, with yellow or orange, and then you see the blue line ending in a yellow line. What this tells you is how they use their fingers, even are able to catch every zooming thing, every movement, basically, of the fingers on their mobile device to allow you to exactly see what they do and how they use it on your website. Okay, I'll bypass that. Yeah, I showed you. Forms. Whenever you have a form, we do have completely integrated, also part of the product, a complete form analysis and optimization tool. What that lets you do, for example, I'm sure on your website you do have, from, when I looked at it, you do have lots of areas where people have to enter information, etc.,
Yep.
etc. So sometimes we have noticed through, our research and studies before we developed the product, that lots of time customers have a tendency to abandon a website in the middle of a form because they encounter either difficulties or it takes too long for it to process the data and take that data, incorporate it into the form, and lots of time they have to repeat twice, etc. Lots of time it makes them abandon the website and not return. So here what we have is form analysis showing you exactly what happens, how long it takes, how it compares to competitors, how it compares to the rest of the industry or to an average to make it efficient. So for example, if there is a problem with the form, if you need to improve the way, optimize basically your form. And what we also give you that no other product can give you now is when someone enters any information, like here you have name, for example. Let's suppose I entered Bob Smith and then tried to continue the form, then went back, erased Bob Smith, and wrote Inad Smith, for example. Changed the name from Bob to Philip or whatever, 2 times or 3 times. So right now, the technology, the current technology, and this includes with Omniture and Teleaf and all those products, premium products, I call them, what they are able to capture is the information, the final information that a customer has entered before they click enter and submit the data. What we do is we capture all the information, including all deletes, all changes, including if they made a mistake and corrected it, and what was the mistake and what they corrected it with, what they replaced the information with. It includes, also it gives you an idea about, one, their intent, whether it was an error or a mistake that was on purpose or not, in case there was an error in entering data, entering credit card information, or entering, personal information, email, etc., etc. So because we capture all that information rather than only from the transition from one page to another, which everybody else now does. We are the only platform or the only product on the market that has the ability to do that. We even give you, if you are interested, any metric that you define in our reports. We give you all conversion funnels, basically with systematic interpretation and the ability to pick individual records or sampling of records. to understand, where problems exist. And this is across all platforms, from the routine regular desktop to any, mobile phone. 1 minute that I want to spend, and I'll stop because I see the time is running here. A word about competitive intelligence. This is one important module that we have as part of our product. What it does, it gives you continuously, it gives you information about your key competitors. For example, if you say, well, I consider 5 major suppliers that follow, these are my competitors in my market area or nationwide, should you, I don't know whether you have delivery outside of your region, whether you have national or is it just regional? How do you conduct your business?
Yeah, it's just regional.
Regional, okay, that's fine. But let's suppose you wanted to expand it more, you have that reach. But right now, you define major competitors. Should they be 3 or 5 or 10 or 20? It really does not matter. Once we define your major competitors, it's like we have our program just unleashes the power to look, to study, to start monitoring continuously their website and looking at any changes in their traffic rank. So we rank the traffic, we follow it, again, minute by minute. Of course, you are not interested in knowing it continuously, minute by minute. Give you reports. You might be interested once a week or once a month. That's fine. So we give you the reports about their traffic ranks, why, for example, we try to look at every change that they adopted, recently, that we could correlate with that traffic rank. For example, should they have started to advertise on social media or have a presence there? Did they accomplish, more likes or, unlikes that affected their results? Sales headline, are they, or did they adopt any new marketing strategy? And we can read those from their website and immediately identify them and start monitoring their results, in sales that we can pick from the internet as well as traffic. And we correlate it intelligently because we have developed very advanced statistical and business algorithms to be able to accomplish that task and give you complete report on your competitor one by one, as well as on your industry as a whole. So you say, for example, online retail or online grocery retail. So we say, okay, fine, this is how we define it, and these are all the people who fall under that category, and we start monitoring them as a whole, as an industry, in the same fashion, giving you overall results and specific results tied to specific marketing strategies, or if they are starting to use new headlines or anything like this, including up to details like average page load speed for the industry, for you to be able to compare it to yours and see whether you are more efficient, less efficient, about the same, on par with them. We give you emerging content information from the global industry. For example, your business is regional, but sometimes if you look, for example, at similar businesses in Europe or in China or etc., you might discover that suddenly in Germany or in France or Switzerland, whatever, chains or online models started to use this and produced, increased results, etc. This will give you, not necessarily that it has to apply on your everyday business, but it gives you ideas for you to put at the table and say, does it make sense for me if that merchant, online merchant, produced 100% gains over the last 6 months, and it seems to be correlating with this. Should I try to implement this, etc., etc.? So it gives you a total picture. No other product in the market in this area, not analytics, not of customer interaction, not competitive intelligence products have that ability. We developed that because we have been able to gather global information on every website globally that anybody on the internet in the world. We are the only company that has been able to work on it. We have been working for the past 7 years actually on this project, and we have over 180 million websites all organized in a huge database. If we compared it to Google, to Bing and similar things, at least 5 times larger than their database and deeper, and continuously updated, continuously working such a way that any trend changes or marketing change that occurs anywhere, we pick it up immediately, same day, etc. Has very many applications that are beyond this presentation that we can go over maybe later.
Right.
I will stop right
Now,
here.
I've got another meeting in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let me just ask you, so from a technology perspective,
Correct.
how, is this software as a service that we store in the cloud, or I mean, how does this work? Is it JavaScript that
it is JavaScript.
We store on our own servers, the data store?
Okay, let me give you, from a technology point of view, it has a very small footprint, smaller than Google Analytics. To give you it's a JavaScript, basically. We give the option, usually different businesses like very large banks, etc., want it on their own servers, etc., of course. But the way we offer it is in the cloud, yes, on servers, that we maintain the data. It does not give you anything. Very quickly, before you have to go to your meeting, our video technology, the reason we are able to do that, utilizes, and this is a proprietary, we do have several patents pending. It requires 5,000 times less of resources, bandwidth, etc., to play the video. So it does not affect your performance at all, zero. The lag on your performance, 0.2 seconds, so 200 milliseconds, basically, which is less than what Google Analytics, takes, or Omniture, or, much less than Teleaf. Number one. Number two, we have the ability, we are gathering 1,000 more data points, and this is what allows us to dig further and be able to present it this way with, again, at no cost to you or your servers, etc., except, of course, we maintain that, in the cloud. And the third, we have a compression technology for all the data that is also proprietary. We have been able to develop a new technology that allows us to store with 1 to the 12, so 12 times less storage, and this is how we can do it and process it very effectively and without overutilizing resources.
I'm interested.
Okay.
What should be our next steps?
Okay, let me ask you one more question, and I'll tell you the next step. The question is, how many page views? Do you know how many page views do you get per month?
Let me see. I just got a new computer. I don't even think my favorites are set up on this. Hang on one second.
Okay.
No, none of my favorites are on this computer.
Okay, do you know approximately, are we talking, for example, 10 millions? Are we talking 2 millions, 1 million, 500,000, 100,000? I mean, gross estimate, if you have an idea.
Yeah, probably 2 million.
2 million per month. Okay, let me tell you, I think our next step should be, first of all, would you like another deeper dig, and I will get, also one of our technicians to be, or technology implementation specialists to be on the call and be able to answer more questions, or are you satisfied with the information I gave you? What I can do is send you.
I wouldn't mind one more little deeper dive into it.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Let's do that and schedule it. And normally what I am going to propose, if the next meeting, convinces you and do you have a budget restraint or a budget limit that you want to work with initially? Because if you say, depending on your answer, I will also prepare what we call a pilot program. A pilot program is, for example, with no commitment, long-term commitment, is a 3-month trial or 6-month trial period that is either on your full website or on a portion of your website that would limit your initial, basically, investment, show you in such a way that you can look at it, experience it the first 3 months, and make your final decision, because then you know exactly that, we will prove to you that how much you can gain from utilizing the product. If we do it this way, then we limit, for example, up to 1 million, etc., and this is how much it would cost. And we give you a quote, we'll be ready for it at the next meeting. If you prefer to wait on that, once you dive further into the technology and you gather some answers to your questions, then we can give you a full implementation schedule and proposal. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is dive a little deeper into it. I'll find out what those page views are.
Okay.
And then, and I will also talk to our CFO about what kind of budget we can talk about.
Okay, great. Yeah, this will give an idea to see if it would make more sense, to go with a pilot on a limited portion, again, to prove, because once you have those, some people in different companies tell us, once I have those numbers, then I convince, the CFO, the CEO, what I need to. Yeah, so this is important. What's your position in the company? Are you the CEO or the marketing, the CMO, CTO? I know you have a technology background, but...
I am the Vice President of Information Technology.
Right. Okay, so you do have to, if you can share the information with, who the decision makers, the final decision makers, the president, the CFO, etc., and see, that would be great. When would you like me to schedule, or would you prefer to talk to them and send us an email back?
No, I'd like to schedule the next demo if we could. Next Thursday.
Next week, Thursday.
Yeah, the 28th, like at 9 o'clock would be fantastic.
9 o'clock.
If that's possible.
No, okay. Let me work on that. I am not sure about the schedule next Thursday, but I will make it possible. And we'll get back with you, Stephen. All right?
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you, Enad.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.